Whoop. There we go. Now we have audio. Ooh, isn't that better? Hi, I'm your host, Andrew Fazekas, the Night Sky Guy, here with another edition of the show that I produce every Monday, putting out for you guys some of my personal picks of what you can see in the night sky every week. I have my chat open. I see comments coming in from Tess, Marlene, Christelle, Petty, from all over the world. I love to see where you guys are watching. I see people still coming on board. It's fantastic. What a great past weekend I had. I was able to actually go outside and look at a lot of really interesting kind of stuff outside. I was looking at the moon, and that was something very special for me. I'm trying to see if I can actually show any piece of that. The moon. Let's see. It was on my phone. I'm going to actually you know what? I'm going to put that out probably after the show. I took some pictures of the moon through my 12-inch telescope using my iPhone, and it turned out really well. I put a broadcast up as well, but the photos turned out even better than the live videos that I was doing of the moon. I might go out again if the skies stay clear. Here in Montreal, it's beautiful, mild, and sunny right now. So I'm really excited to be able to do some sky watching over the course of the next few days. Of course, leading up to the granddaddy of events for this week in terms of the sky, of course, is the total eclipse of the moon on May 15th, 16th, Sunday night into Monday morning. So I'll talk more about that in the next few minutes. So just stay tuned. And of course, there's a lot of sun activity as well. So there's a lot of things to talk about. Hello, everyone. More people tuning in from Sweden, from South Carolina, USA, from folks all over. Love to in Germany as well. Wow, people from all over the place. So nice to see you guys. Just keep those comments coming in. I love to read them. I have them in front of me here. So without further ado, here is the sky. Let's see if we can go to the sky, unframe this, and see there we are. Now, this is the sky set up for early morning. It really is a wonderful time. If you can get up in the morning at dawn before sunrise, highly recommend it on any clear morning. It just is spectacular. Why? Because we have a lineup of our neighboring worlds. And if you have gotten up and you've probably seen this, but maybe wondered what you were watching. The brightest of the lot, as you can see in this image, this animation, is, of course, Venus. Venus is a neighboring planet to us. It's the second planet from the sun, and it is the brightest of the lot. All the other worlds you see here that look like dots in the sky that are in a line are Jupiter, which is the second brightest of the lot, of the four. And then you have Mars, which is much fainter, but very distinctly orange red in color. And then we have, of course, Saturn way off to the right there. Now, this orientation that you're seeing here is for where I am. I'm in Montreal, Canada, at 45-degree latitude north of the equator. If you're closer to the tropics, or perhaps you're in the southern hemisphere, the orientation of what you're seeing here will be slightly different. So if you're in, say, the somewhere around the equator, perhaps you will see this lineup more vertical. So the planets will appear more and from up down, almost straight down. And if you're in the southern hemisphere, it'll be kind of reversed from what you're seeing here, almost mirror image. So it really depends on where you are on our planet, the orientation of this, but the clustering is going to stay the same. And boy, it's just going to be like that for the rest of the week. So if I just, I've got this for Tuesday morning, May 10th. There's the 11th, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What are you seeing? Jupiter is rising and closing in with Mars, and then Saturn is still off to the side. And all of this movement between the planets from morning to morning, I'm going to set it back to Tuesday. Here we go. All of these little movements between the planets are going to be visible to the naked eye. Just as what you're seeing here as I popped from one day to the next, it's something that will be visible for you as well. So no matter where you are on Earth, you can see that. Now, if we kind of magically go for sunset right now, and we kind of zoom out, look there. There's our friend. Our main actor in terms of the sky this week is going to be the moon. So following the moon over the course of this week, it's heading towards becoming a full moon. And then, da-da, like magic, we're going to have a total lunar eclipse. And that happens, of course, remember, a total lunar eclipse, why that happens, you've got the sun, you've got the earth, and then you have the moon, all in a perfect alignment, right? So when the three objects are in a perfect alignment, that's when you get a total lunar eclipse, or depending on how they're shuffled, you can also have a total solar eclipse as well, right? When the moon goes between the earth and the sun, but in this time it's the earth in the middle, sandwiched between the moon and the sun, and it's the earth's shadow cast on the moon. I'll talk more about that in a second. So that's what's happening on Sunday evening, right? So here we have, this is basically on Tuesday night. Let me just go back one more. Monday night, here we go. There is I'm going to put the stars on as well so you get to see more with the names. Where is the moon tonight? On Monday night, May 9th, the moon is located in the constellation Leo. And I'm going to make it a little darker. So let me just go an hour. This is now about an hour after sunset. And look at that. You can see the moon clearly positioned next to a bright blue-white star. That blue-white star is the brightest star in the constellation Leo the Lion. It's a very ancient constellation. Cultures around the world has seen an animal formation, a lot of them a lion. And actually the association of this group of stars with a lion figure, we think some are suggesting can go back as far as 10,000 years or maybe even more. Ancient Egyptians saw that as well. And really the telling part of this constellation is this backwards giant question mark that I'm marking out here with my cursor. You can see that. That marks the head of the lion, the eye of the lion, the head, the mane, the neck, all the way to his chest. And marking the heart of the lion is Regulus. Regulus, the old name of Regulus, by the way, was Cor Leonis, which means the heart of the lion. So Regulus is going to appear right next to the moon. And this is Monday night, May 9th. So if it's dark where you are now, maybe it's darkening, look for the moon. And as soon as it gets dark enough, you'll see that blue-white star. And it's just neat to think that that star that you're looking at is not only mythologically very important in terms of the constellation Leo and representing its heart, but it's also 79 light years away. It's almost practically a human lifetime, length of a lifetime of an average human, 79 years. That's how long the light has taken to travel through interstellar space between the stars. It's really incredible to see that star so brilliant, so bright. It looks like a beautiful diamond in the sky. So that's basically what's in store for tonight. And off to the left of the moon will be the bright star Spica in the constellation Virgo, the Maiden. There'll also be another one. Look, there's actually, what's very interesting is if you look, there's four, like a kind of a lopsided rectangle of stars that are around this pairing of the moon and Regulus tonight. So I want you to take a look at this. This is something that's going to be easy to see, even in urban conditions. You know, there's this myth that you have to be out of the city in the dark countryside to do sky watching. Not true. You can do this in the city. And this is what I want you to take a look at tonight, Monday night, is look for Arcturus, this bright orange star right there. It's about 36 light years away. It marks the brightest constellation in Bootes. Okay, Bootes is this constellation that's fairly bright. It looks like a giant kite or an ice cream cone. You can see the top of the ice cream cone here. There's the cone part, and the very tip of the cone is marked by Arcturus, this orange giant star that's 36 light years away. Right? Then underneath it is Spica, this very distinctly bluish colored star. You'll see this with the naked eye. And this star is a whopping 250 light years away. So think of that. It takes 2.5 centuries for the light from Spica to reach your eye. And then, of course, on the other side of the moon and Regulus tonight will be Pollux, which is one of the Gemini twins, right? We've talked many times about that, 33 light years away. And then underneath is Procyon, another white distinct star, fairly close. It's one of the closest stars to us. It's called Procyon, and it is about 11 light years away from us, and it marks the kind of the hindquarters of the little dog, or Canis Minor. So we've got these four stars. We've got Arcturus, Spica, Pollux, and Procyon acting as a giant rectangle enclosing the moon and Regulus together. And this is really tonight the best feature. Now, if we move on in the week to the next day, you'll see the moon jumping away to the back side of Leo, and it's just underneath a triangle of stars. Again, this is for Tuesday night, May 10th. You'll have Denebula, which marks the tip of the tail of Leo, and then two other stars that may mark off Cheriton, and here's the other one, Zosma, and Denebula marks this kind of triangle right next to the moon. You may need binoculars because the glare of the moon will getting fairly bright, so I would suggest bringing out your binoculars to look for this triangle next to the moon. And then if we just zoom out again, we travel along with the moon this week. Here we are. We're already on Wednesday, May 11th. The moon is at the head of Virgo, the Maiden, and it forms this beautiful triangle now. Look at this. On Wednesday, May 11th, you'll have a triangle of the moon, Spica, and Arcturus. And what I want you to notice is the difference in color. It's amazing between Arcturus and Spica. Spica is this definite blue color, and then it contrasts so well, just with the unaided eye, with Arcturus. And yes, you can be within the city limits. You don't have to be out in the countryside to see this contrast of color between these two stars. This is as simple as stargazing gets. Forget the telescope, forget the binoculars. This is something that you can do with the naked eye from your you can do it from your bedroom window if it's pointed in the right direction. In this case, you can be looking towards the southeast. You can see right in the southeast would be the best portion. Here I can zoom out and you can see. See, it says SE at the bottom there. So we're looking towards the southeast, and that's where you'll see the moon. Use the moon as your guidepost. It's as simple as that. As long as you've got clear skies, this is going to be very simple to see. So this is what's greeting you on Wednesday. Just a fantastic trio. And then keep watching the moon. Now we've got this really thin triangle again. Still, Arcturus, the moon, and then Spica right down there, making a beautiful triangle. Again, Thursday, May 12th. And then look at what happens, what we have here. You have Spica and the moon pairing up. Now, this is something where binoculars, great opportunity to bring out your binoculars, because you can see here, I'm going to do a measurement here using my software, 4 degrees apart. See, it says there 4. That's the magic number I'm looking for. So Spica to the moon is 4 degrees. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? Okay, so 4 degrees, just to give you an idea, if you're using your hands as a measuring tool, this is the most handy measuring tool that you can measure distances between objects in the sky, or heights in altitude above your horizon, where to look. I use this often in my stargazing tutorials. In my books, I talk about this. Highly recommend. It's an established technique to use worldwide by backyard sky watchers. It's called hand measurements. And so using your fist, for instance, your fist is approximately about 5 degrees in width. Okay, and then what you can do is use your, I should say 10 degrees, sorry, in width like this, and then 5 degrees is with your 3 fingers held at arm's length. Okay, so fist or your fingers like this, middle fingers held at arm's length, and the width of your 3 fingers, okay, is approximately 5 degrees. That what we're talking about in degrees in angle in the sky. So by the fact that we're talking here, I'm going to go back to the planetarium program. We have the moon and Spica pairing up, and this is, remember, this is Friday, May 13th. Oh my God, I didn't even realize it's Friday the 13th. Anyway, this is lucky. This is lucky for sky watchers. On Friday the 13th, this week, you have this beautiful pairing between this object that's only 4 degrees apart from the moon. So if you take your 3 fingers and you hold it at arm's length, it should be just a little bit more than the spacing between the moon and Spica. So these 2 objects are going to be that close in the sky. Very beautiful to the naked eye. You could try to take a photograph of this. You could see the moon is going to be almost very close now to becoming a full moon, only a few nights away from their Sunday night full moon when it becomes a total lunar eclipse too. I know, I'm heading there in a second. So you're going to see this beautiful pairing. Highly recommend it. This is what you want to see. Is on this is Friday the 13th. And where is it? Southeastern sky. You could start looking for this earlier in the evening. Look at that. One of the little challenges I can just bring out right for you guys is see how long it takes for you to spot Spica next to the moon as darkness begins to fall, as the sun sets, and you got dusk turning into twilight, evening twilight. How long until you actually spot that star, Spica, next to the moon? How dark does it need to be? It's a great little observing challenge. How long does it take with the naked eye? What about binoculars? Can you see it even before it gets dark? How about that? Can you see Spica before it gets totally dark with binoculars? So, and by the way, in binoculars, this pairing will be visible. Look, something like this. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. Something like that. So the 2 will appear very close together, and it will be just gorgeous. I see Mary coming in from the Mojave Desert in California. My, you have, Mary, one of the best skies in the world. You are so lucky and fortunate that you're graced with beautiful skies. I'm sure you appreciate it, and this is something you can easily see as well. And of course, not to mention all the dark sky objects for you, Mary, where you are at the Mojave. Just gorgeous location. I loved it, visited it once, and it's just one of the best skies I've seen. So there, we're still not finished because I'm just going to make this a little bit later. This is Friday, but we're going to go and skip now to Saturday. Saturday, see the moon has now moved away from Spica. I mean, later in the evening, all the dusk and twilight has gone away, clear skies, and you can see Spica and the moon drawn apart more. Spica's the moon is at the feet of the maiden, Virgo, the maiden, and then on Sunday, look what happened to the moon. Do you see what I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Look at this. This is Saturday night. Sunday, boom, look, the moon has turned red. That is the full eclipse of the moon. So let's talk about the eclipsed moon. So my friends at timeanddate.com, it's a great location. I'm going to just move over here and show you. Let me see if I can. No, we don't want to go to the end of the show yet. Ha ha ha. We want to go to right here and time and date. There we go. So my friends at timeanddate.com, I'm going to put a link to this in the comments so you can read up on all the times. They're very good at timing of celestial events. They're going to have their own live stream as well. My friends there, just fantastic, top-notch show, and it's only 6 days away. So what is going to happen is you're going to see the moon undergo, as you can see here, enter the shadow of the Earth. See, and as the shadow of the Earth creeps across the surface of the disk of the moon, you see that? You get this darkening of the moon, bigger bites taken out of the moon. And you'll see this curvature of the shadow on the moon. That is the Earth's shadow, the rounded shadow of our own planet, right in front of your eyes. It just doesn't get any more magical than that. And this is a great way to help children understand a little bit about the cosmos, the solar system we live in, and seeing that it's a dynamic place. The universe is dynamic, our planet and the moon are moving through space, and things are changing before our eyes. It's really incredible. And there you go. You can see that the moon is going to be moving across the disk of the moon. Now, where are you going to be to see this event? Where is it best? On this map, you can see, I'm going to move this up a little bit so you can see where you can be. Wherever it's darkened red, that is the best place to be. So North America, Central America, South America, the Atlantic, the Eastern Pacific, most of Africa, most of Europe will all have front row seats to at least some of the lunar eclipse happening Sunday night, May 15th into the Monday morning, May 16th. Really spectacular stuff. And there you go. There's an even more better map that shows you that the eastern side of North America will get to see the entire eclipse, as will Central America and all of South America. So really, that's really the primo spots. Timing, well, here's the timing. What you want to see is the partial phase. The penumbral phase is so it's so slightly shaded, you probably won't be able to see that. But if you look here, you see that you have the eclipse in universal time. So you can do your own calculation from universal time. I'm in Montreal, so it's set here. That's in Eastern time zone. So that's 4 hours, 4 hours before universal time. And you can see it starts for me on May 15th at 9:32 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, and so that converts to 1 a.m., 1:32 a.m. Universal time. But that is the penumbral eclipse. I would, if I were you, don't worry about that. It is such a slight difference, you probably won't notice the outer. This is the outer, very not so dark shadow. It's a lighter shadow of the Earth. What you want to start is maybe looking at the partial eclipse. This is where you'll actually see a bite taken out of the moon. That happens at 2:20 7 a.m. Universal Time on Monday morning, officially Universal Time. That is Sunday night, May 15th at 10:27 Eastern Time. So that would be on Pacific Time, 7:27 Pacific Time. So already in the early evening for those of you on the west coast of North America. The full eclipse, when the moon turns red, what we call blood moon, will happen at 3:29 a.m. Universal Time on Monday morning, May 16th, which is May 15th, Sunday night, 11:29 p.m. Eastern Time, right? So that is 8:29 p.m. Pacific Time for those of you on the West Coast. So look, I'm going to put a link to this on the comment section, and you could punch in your city, wherever you are in the world, and see what it would look like. This table will be presented to you for your location, personal location. This one right here that you're seeing is set for me in Montreal. So it's telling me what my time it's visible here. See, and it says visible in Montreal. Yes, 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 yes. If you're on the wrong side of the earth, it'll tell you no, 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 or yes, yes, no, depending on, you could see the earlier part of the eclipse or the later part of the eclipse. It'll tell you. So I'm going to put a link to this, and I'm actually going to put this link. You know what? I'm going to put this right now. Check this out. I'm going to put it in here, and I'm going to put this in here. Here we go. Boom. Go. Let's see. And no matter where you're watching, whether it's on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, or Twitter, all over the place, there it is. There is the link. So you can follow that link. Don't do it now while I'm talking, but after, you can go and start looking around and planning out when exactly you're going to be seeing it and how you're going to see this. Now, this is a really, really cool thing. This is a video put together by NASA showing what it looks like. Let me see if I can get this on there. And this is just a short little video showing you the moon. Now, you can see the moon entering. That's the outer. You can see this right here. This is the outer shadow of the Earth. The moon is entering the shadow. You can see it's a very slight shading. Not much to see yet, right? Not much. Now it's 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Look at that. You see that? Suddenly now, that's the deep shadow. It's entering the shadow. It's getting darker, bigger bites taking out of the moon. There we go, 50% partial. And then it gets into the center cone, the dark cone shadow. And that's at 11:29, totality begins, Eastern Time. That's when the moon turns red. And do you know why it turns red? This is where it gets really exciting, guys. Why it turns red is because the sunlight is going through the Earth's atmosphere on its way to the moon, and it gets shifted towards the red part of the spectrum. So literally, this is the romantic idea that I want you guys to take away, is what you're seeing here, the red color on the moon, is all the sunrises and all the sunsets around the world simultaneously being cast, projected onto the disk of the moon at the same time. Because as the sunlight goes through the rim, around the edge of our planet, it travels through that column of air, that bubble-like air around that we live in, and we breathe that air. If there's a lot of particulate matter, pollution in the air, then that shifts the light even more to the orange part of the spectrum. So during totality that you're seeing here, the moon will actually turn more and more darker red. And I'll tell you something very, very interesting, is that we think here on spaceweather.com, there was, of course, an eruption on January 15th of the Tonga volcano that reached the plume of it, the ash plume reached the mesosphere, the upper stratosphere of the Earth. And this is what, of course, the explosion cloud looked like from a satellite point of view. But you see all that plume of ash and dust that was sent high up into the atmosphere. And all that stuff is now in the atmosphere. There you can see this little video here showing a simulation of all that stuff that was now floating in the atmosphere. And that happened thanks to this volcano. on January 15th, sent up all this stuff into the atmosphere. And this is what we think may cause so much dust in the atmosphere that it'll make the total lunar eclipse look that much more blood colored. It's possible. We don't know that for sure, but it might be anywhere from orange, pumpkin orange, to literally blood red. And really, that is the most spectacular thing, I think, in terms of the visual aspect of this lunar eclipse. So the totality, when the moon is orange in color, will last about 85 minutes, just under 85 minutes. It's a super long eclipse. It's the longest eclipse that is visible in North America in about 15 years. It's one of the longest for sure, if not the longest, maybe the top three longest eclipse. Also, it's the longest, this is from my friends at timeanddate.com. They calculated this out. That's the longest prime time total lunar eclipse for the west coast of North America. So those of you that are in the west coast of North America, lucky you, this is the longest eclipse in a century, believe it or not. A whole century, you haven't seen one this long. And it's in prime time, meaning that it's, after your local dinner time, you can head outside and look at it. And you don't have to go to the countryside. You can stay within the city limits. Just have a clear view of the overhead sky and watch the show. Remember, the moon will be rising. Remember, it'll be rising in the east, right? As the sun sets in the west, the full moon will be rising in the east. And remember also, what do we call this moon? The full moon in May? It's known as the flower moon because it's associated with northern hemisphere blooms of young flowers this time of the year. It's some of the first flowers are popping and blooming now. And so the moon's name comes from that time period. So the May full moon this month is known as the flower moon. So this is the blood flower moon. But this is not all, folks. It's also a supermoon. The moon is closer a little bit, about 50,000 kilometers on average closer. And so it appears about 13% bigger, about 18% brighter than usual. And so it's also known as a supermoon. So imagine that. So it's the super flower blood moon. Whew. Now that's a term I don't want to repeat too much. Anyway, lots of stuff. I gave you the link in the comments to find out when and where to see the total eclipse of the moon, the blood moon, this Sunday night. I also have a column coming out in nationalgeographic.com that should be out very soon, within the next day or so. That'll give you a viewer's guide to everything I talked about. I'll put a link to that National Geographic article as well. Also, of course, if you like any of these things, of course, is my book that you see over there. So if you're interested in learning more about sky watching, like to get some more tips and tricks like I share with you every week on my live stream that I'm here every Monday, this book is fantastic. It's a small soft cover, so it can travel with you wherever you are around the world. It's good for both North and Southern Hemisphere, and it goes through everything related to the hobby, from rank beginner stuff to advanced amateur, how to buy a telescope, how to use that telescope, how to get kids engaged, how to find your way around the sky if you're just learning, using some of the brightest stars alone, how to know when the next meteor shower is, and of course about eclipses, solar and lunar, and how to take advantage of that best. The Backyard Guide to the Night Sky by National Geographic, available, as they say, wherever good books are sold, including, of course, Amazon. You can pick that up anywhere. And I'm so proud because it's considered one of the best guidebooks, according to a lot of folks out there. I'm so proud that I can do a little service in terms of opening up the night sky for folks like you. So that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please show your support by hitting that subscribe button, notification, sharing this video with your friends and family. Let's get more people out watching the sky, and make sure you give it a thumbs up on any platform, whether it's Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter that you're watching. I'm here every Monday afternoon Eastern time around between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern time on Mondays. And stay tuned for sky charts and all kinds of other goodies that I put out on my channels on a weekly basis. With that, I wish all of you guys, of course, clear skies. See you next week. Bye.